Where is the time? That's often one of the biggest complaints that I hear from people, or biggest struggles that people have, is that they find that they just don't have enough time for some of the very important things in their life. And usually this complaint comes up when, especially when they're talking to me, is usually in the context of inner work. Making the time for the type of self-awareness, making time for oneself. And it's quite perplexing on some level, because when you really sit down and just logically think about it, if we don't have time for ourselves, what's going on? This is your life. This is my life. And if we don't have time, if you don't have time for you, and I don't have time for me, what is so important that's taking up all our time? What's more important than you and I? And in terms of getting in touch with who we are, and in terms of creating the space to allow for that connection that we need with ourselves, so that we don't lose touch with what's important to us, and that we can live a life that honors what's really true for us, rather than getting lost and by all the countless distractions and countless other values that we're presented with on a daily basis that may not be our own, that may not ring true to us, but they definitely tend to be the mainstream voices of our society. So they tend to drown out our own inner voice. So this is the issue here. Where is the time going, and why is it that we don't have time for ourselves? I was watching a documentary called Free Food and Medicine that a good friend of mine had introduced me to. And in one of the videos, there's the founders of the Living Center out in London, Ontario. And they have some wonderful seminars and education courses to teach people how to live a more eco-friendly life, to live in more harmony with the earth, and to do one's own farming, and a lot of spiritual courses. It looks like they're doing some fantastic things out there. Hope to get out there sometime soon. But the reason I mentioned this is one of the founders, I just want to make sure I get her name right, Lorena Biscat-Cassera. She was asked by the gentleman that was conducting the documentary, to explain what she meant by getting in touch with the rhythm of nature, because that's what she described as one of her primary motivations behind living pretty much off the land and deciding to live out in nature and to do the type of work that she's dedicated her life to. So I found her response very, very intriguing, and kind of struck a chord, and definitely resonated with myself, and kind of resonated with a lot of what I feel is inspired me to get involved in this slow thought movement. And she describes the rhythm of nature, as to be slower. That's the word she used. She said it's slower, and allows her to give time to the things that matter to her. And I'm paraphrasing, but this is the essence that I gathered from what she said. And really get in touch with what's important, and to not lose touch with that by slowing things down. And I think that's so cool, pretty much what she said, because I think it pretty much I think it's so true. It resonates, because it's only by slowing things down, limiting the noise in our own head, that's often voices borrowed from other sources, and also quieting, stepping away from the noise of the world around us, whether it be the voices of our social upbringing, the voices of our conditioned society, and stepping away from that. And it's so powerful when you do that, because from my own experience, the truth just starts to come forth. It's a vibration, and there's a rhythm to each person's life. And what happens is when we step away, I feel we start to get in touch with that rhythm, and it starts to communicate to us. And I think we can then take that journey of marching to the beat of our own drum. I think that's just a fascinating way to look at it, is empowering ourselves to march to the beat of our own drum instead of marching to the beat of someone else's drum. And I think that's all possible by slowing things down. But it, again, returns to our issue is that most people say, well, we're too busy. How do, in a fast, go world where we almost seem compelled to be busy, get things done, how do we create the space to get in touch with our own inner rhythm?